Greetings, St. Paul's, and blessings on this Monday, the Monday before Ascension Day. The psalm appointed in the daily lectionary today is Psalm 80. Hear, O shepherd of Israel, leading Joseph like a flock, shine forth, you that are enthroned upon the cherubim, in the presence of Ephraim, Benjamin, and Manasseh. Stir up your strength and come to help us. So what have I been thinking about this day, this Monday? I've been thinking about what is the hardest thing about being a Christian. I don't know what you may think. I hope that you have reflected on this question, and maybe you have nothing to say. Maybe you think everything is easier, or maybe you think it's impossible. For me, the most difficult thing about being a Christian, at least for today, is trying to answer the perennial WWJD question. What would Jesus do? I think about this particularly because I am living in a time in my life that Jesus did not live into. I'm actually 22 years older than Jesus was when he died. So there are some realities of my life that Jesus never had to face, and therefore the what would Jesus do question is more of a rhetorical kind of thing to make you think than anything you can find any clear evidence on in Jesus's own life. Like, for example, what would Jesus do if his kids talked back at him? What would Jesus do if he had an argument with his wife? What would Jesus do if he had to choose between private and public school for his kids? What would Jesus do if he had to decide between a gas or electric car? So many different questions that, of course, make absolutely no sense to ask, what would Jesus do? But it does bring us to think. It does make us have to think about Christian ethics, Christian way of living, Christian way of thought. And so instead of asking WWJD, it should be, what do you think you're called to do in any situation as a person who seeks to live a more godly and sober life? A life committed to being in relationship with God and to making both our lives and the lives of all of God's creatures better. How do we go about responding to these questions in a way that fulfills that desire to be a more godly person? Of course, what happens is that because there are so many of us who are trying to answer that question, we have basically as many answers. And that is why we find so much division within Christianity, because the range of responses to that question is so wide that we do come to places where our disagreements with each other are unreconcilable. What do we do about that then? We do the best we can, I think. We try as best we can to, through prayer, through study, through personal meditation and dedication, to live the best lives we can, where some of the answers to our questions come with the main thing that Jesus talks to us about, and we had it yesterday in the readings for the liturgy on Sunday, for the 6th Sunday in Easter. The great command that Jesus gave us, that you love one another. So, here is the easy way to make decisions, I think. When faced with a situation, ask yourself, how does this show that I have love for others? How does this reflect my response to Jesus' command that we have love for one another and that we be willing to give up our lives for others? Blessing, St. Paul's. Have a wonderful rest of your day.